The Federal Aviation Administration has announced that it will reduce air traffic by 10% across 40 major airports to maintain safety during the ongoing government shutdown. The restrictions will go into effect Friday morning and stand to impact thousands of flights nationwide. The FAA is confronting staffing shortages among air traffic controllers who have been working unpaid since the shutdown began October 1st. Some have been calling out of work, resulting in delays across the country.
What we're finding is that our air traffic controllers, because of the financial pressures at home, are taking side jobs. We have asked them to show up for work, but I'm not naive to understand that they're trying to figure out how they meet their daily obligations.
Major airlines, aviation unions, and the wider travel industry have been urging Congress to end the shutdown, now the longest in U.S. history.
Guys, just landed in Dubai. I got flued out to meet my future Emirati husband, and he said I'm his golden prize.
Y'all, the suite is giving halal honeymoon. Like, he even hired me a private camel.
So he said he wants me to be part of a sacred tradition, and I was like, okay, spa treatment or whatever. He said I was the vessel, like spiritually and literally. And now the door is locked from the outside.
Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. And always read the fine print.
Guys.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Is giving all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. And as you've seen in that clip, man, okay, because of this shutdown, they're shutting down 10% of air travel, okay, in 40 airports, all right, which made me think about these women, okay, which they brag about getting flued out, which this is a song by the City Girls. All right, it says the definition of flued out, okay, because ain't no more getting flued out, man. All right, those days are over. The Lord is shutting this place down. But it says flued out, phrase accidentally created by Young Miami of City Girls when she misspoke promoting a twerking competition. They later repurposed the phrase to describe a situation where a rich guy will fly a girl to different locations for a lavish weekend of shopping and restaurants, usually followed by the girl putting out, meaning they're getting flown out for prostitution. Okay, that's what it means. It says flued out, to be flown out of the city, state, or country by a guy, girl who wants to see you badly and who's about to spend a bag, quote unquote, money, then send you home. All right. And this is something that's been, a common thing amongst our community with our people. These so-called black women talk about how they're getting flued out, all right, where basically it's some simp guy with a lot of money would pay, top dollar, all right, to fly these women out so that they can get, so they can meet these women off the internet in person, and, which ultimately leads to, sex, okay? they take, it's like a lavish date. So these women, they will brag about being flued out, but that's coming to an end. As you see, it says live updates. Hundreds of U.S. flights are canceled as shutdowns hits air travel. Now, also you have the so-called holidays coming up. So that's going to be a thing of the past too. There ain't gonna be no more, you being flown out, okay, or flying out to see your family on these holidays. They're shutting this country down, all right? It says the Trump administration ordered the cuts as the government shutdown leaves air traffic controllers working without pay. Disruptions at major airports appeared limited for now, right? So a lot of these planes are being grounded. There's not going to be as much movement, and they want this to happen. They don't want you to be able to fly around and move around this country freely anymore, because they're shutting this country down. It's already a government shutdown, but it's going to be literally shut down very soon. It says, here's the latest on the flight reductions. A wave of flight cancellations hit the United States on Friday, and here it is Friday morning. All right, so this is new information. Bringing home the effects of the government shutdown to many more Americans. Though major airports appeared to be working largely as normal in the morning, the cuts were announced. Look at that. So even though these airports are working largely as normal, they're still shutting it down. They're still shutting down majority of these flights because it's not about a shutdown. It's not about this government. It's not about the money or the funds or the Democrats or the Republicans. This is all according to plan. They want to shut this country down. Okay? You got people that travel for work, they got to travel for work and they're missing their flights. They're camping out in these airports. The Lord is through with this place. It says the cuts were announced by Federal Aviation Administration this week to limit air traffic as the shutdown, now the longest in U.S. history, leaves air traffic controllers working without pay. Major airlines said that most customers would not be affected and that travelers who want to change or cancel a flight for a refund could do so. International flights could were virtually unaffected. Okay, so you can't even fly around your own country anymore. All right, and I go to show you that this place is through. Let's read a little bit more. This says by 6 a.m. on the East Coast, around 3% of flights departing from U.S. airports today have been canceled, according to Curium, the aviation data firm. Around 25,400 flights had been scheduled to depart. The company says some of the most affected routes include shuttle flights in the Northeast, flights inside Florida, and trips between Dallas and smaller regional centers. Not surprisingly, the carriers with the most cancellations on Friday are three of the biggest: American Airlines, 221 flights canceled, United 184, and Delta 173, according to Securium. All right, whatever. So basically, which those are major airlines because they're cheaper. All right, they're cheaper, and that's where you common people fly. The rich, the elite, they fly private jets. They're docking out of these, private, air hangars, and they're flying private jets. Okay, while you got to stand in line with TSA, groping you. Okay, and that's coming to an end, man. All right, that's coming to an end. So let's grab a few precepts. Just getting right to the point. As we read all that, let's go right here. It says, because this is the time that we're in, and the Lord has warned us about this time. It says, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. This is what they're doing. They're shutting this place down. So much misery and destruction is coming. Okay. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. It's going to get violent. Okay. When people have nothing to lose, they lose it. Okay. They're already restricting you, taking away certain freedoms. You can't travel the way you want to travel. You can't move the way you want to move. And eventually it's going to be smart cities. You're going to be, you're going to be cornered into these, basically prison cells that they're going to call apartments. Okay. It says you won't even be able to leave your 15-minute city. Okay. This is what they want too. They want 15-minute cities where you can't leave that 15-minute city. Everything you need is going to be within a 15-minute radius. Okay. And you ain't going to be, I ain't talking about in a car drive. I'm talking about on foot or on a bike or something. Okay. Total control. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Because Esau, he wants order out of chaos. So he's bringing the chaos so he can bring in the order. All right, people are going to start getting violent, attacking each other, and they're anticipating that. It says, and here's the point, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So you might desire to go into a particular city, and you're not going to be able, as they showed you right here. Look at this. If you want to go from Tampa to Denver, you're not going to be able. If you want to go from Tampa to Orlando, you might not be able. If you want to go to Miami to Los Angeles, or Los Angeles to Washington, San Francisco to Charlotte, if you want to go to Atlanta to Detroit, you're not going to be able. All right, that's the point. All right, that's the point. And that's, all that we, are here to tell you is that the Lord is shutting this place down. There is going to be no more, America very soon. All right. There is another update. So this thing is happening fast, and we're on our watchtowers. Let me grab that too. Okay, because we're on our watchtowers watching, man. All right. It says, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And men shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is what they want. They want people to be stuck, and confused, and start, ultimately destroying each other. Okay? But what are we doing? We are watching, okay, for these things to take place. We're watching as these things is playing out on the earth, man. Okay? Let's see, let me see. Let's do it like this. Here we go. This is Isaiah chapter 62, verse 6. Let's grab an NLT as well. Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6. It says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence. Give him no rest till he establish until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. This is why we are on fire right now. This is the time to be on fire. As we see these things playing out on the earth, prophecies are being fulfilled before our eyes. Okay, we got to speak about these things. We are if we're the mouthpiece of BAHASHAM Yahawashi, you should be speaking about these things. And this thing just came out. This article just came out. The beloved brother Quorum dropped it in the chat. And hey man, it just shows you how real things is getting, man. Right before our eyes, this place is through. It says in the NLT, O Jerusalem, I have posted watchmen on your walls. So who are the watchmen? The prophets. These are the men that's watching, that's paying attention, and not only watching, but also speaking and warning you. You remember, in the ancient time, they had watchmen on watchtowers, and whether they had a bell or whatever, they had to ring that bell, or they had to cry out to the people, tell them that if danger was coming, tell them that, if, an army was coming, if you had visitors coming to the city, everything was being reported as they seen it. Okay, so as we seeing these things, we're reporting it and we're publishing out on these platforms like YouTube. It says, they pray day and night continually, take no rest, all you who pray to the Lord, give the Lord no rest until he completes his work, until he makes Jerusalem the pride of the earth. And that's what this is about. The Lord is through with America, bro. The Lord is shutting this place down. It's over for his place. It's over for America. So in that, it's our job to come out here and warn you and tell you of what's to come. You people done got too caught up in this world, man. Let's grab this and close out with this right here. And it's the same precepts over and over again because it's the same. These are prophecies that we're seeing playing out in the earth. Okay? If you paying attention, there is no denying it. It says, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. It says, and they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Yeah, this world as we know it is passing away, man. Things that you were able to do 2-3 years ago, you're not going to be able to do within the next 2-3 months, man. Okay? And NOT, those who use the things of this world should not become attached to them. And that's the problem with people. They've become attached to this lifestyle, to this, the ways of this society. And now that it's shutting down on you, people are losing their minds because they become too attached. It says, for this world as we know it will soon pass away. Right? So everything that you used to in this world, you can learn to stop getting used to it, okay? Because it's over, all right? It's through. And the water, Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi, BAHASHAM QADASH for giving us His Spirit in these last days, this understanding, this wisdom, okay, to understand and to, get what's going on. Because most people don't. They have no idea what's happening right now. People are so confused, but guess what? We're not. And the water, Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi for that. Because we could be just as bugged out as the rest of these people. Lost and confused, trying to figure out what's going on. Why am I being, airports that will be affected by flight reductions. So they got flight reductions out now, man. Okay. Call HALAL Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi, man. The water Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi for me straight. This lesson I pray it's edifying and hopeful. Shalom.